Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I feel like I say that every time, but it's good to be back. Hopefully, you all are doing well. Hi, Alan. Glad to see you guys in chat. If you're here watching, drop something in chat. Let me know you're here. Say hello. It's good to be back. I know I haven't posted a video in quite a long time. Things have been quiet in the Facebook group, and got a few things going on in real life, which is why I haven't been posting all that much, but hopefully you all are doing well and that you can hear me as well. So basically, I have had a bunch of client work, of course, and have had a couple things going on. I went on a big trip with my son. We spent over a week in Colorado camping, which was amazing. Really, really beautiful. Back home into real life now, and working on trying to buy my house, which has been an absolute buying a house is just so difficult, so much paperwork, so much stuff. It's been really draining, to be honest, but I am excited. I'm supposed to close at the end of this month, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, as you can tell, lots of stuff going on, but happy to be back. I've been missing streaming and making videos and stuff, so we'll definitely be back on that train. Sandra says hello there, and hello from Ukraine. Can't stay, but we'll watch the VOD. Awesome. Happy to hear that. What I'll probably end up doing with this particular stream and streams from now on, to be honest, especially when we're building sites, is we're going to build the site, live on stream. I'll be talking. We'll kind of have some downtime here and there in the actual stream. But then what I'm going to do is chop it up, and I will post the actual just, straight working in the course, in my Oxygen course. So that way, if you're someone who wants to just, basically get right to the point and just watch the actual build, then you can do that. And I'll provide that for course members. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. So Stratos, good to see you. Happy to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Hope all is well in your world. Let's see, just getting a couple things prepared over here. Pavle, hopefully I'm saying your name right, says long time no see. We miss you. Yeah, thanks, dude. Happy to be back. Appreciate you. So as you can see, what we're going to be working on today is a coffee shop website for a company called Fernweh, which is a German word. And basically this is my best friend's coffee shop. They are almost done building it. It should be open in a matter of weeks at the most, hopefully sooner than that. And we are going to be building this site for them. So eventually this site is going to have WooCommerce capabilities where you can buy their coffee online. And I will build that here on the stream, which will be very exploratory because, of course, I haven't done a whole lot of WooCommerce content on the stream before, but that's been highly, highly requested. So I will definitely be doing that. So this is what you can see roughly in our Figma mockup. We have both the home and the contact page for now. Eventually, we're going to have an order online function. Not exactly sure how we're going to do that, but it will be connected to some kind of POS, either Square or it's going to more than likely be Clover at this point. So hopefully we can tie WooCommerce together with Clover, and then that way people can purchase things like their drinks and food, ahead of time like you would with any major coffee shop. But we're not sure how we're going to do that yet. And also we want to get the shop open, or they, I should say, want to get the shop open and really kind of find the kinks before they go offering online ordering just, to the world. So with that, this is what we're going to be working on today. So this site has a very unique style. I really love their logo and the colors. My designer killed it on this one, using a different designer than some of the other ones we've built on stream. And this particular designer is also fantastic. So we are really stoked. We basically did everything. So we built almost everything except the logo. And then, of course, we built the site kind of around the logo from there. So interested to hear what you guys think of this. But we're going to go ahead and just jump right into this. So normally the way that I would do this is I would have my Figma mockup and my Oxygen site on two separate screens, and I would just be bouncing back and forth. But so that you can see it, what we're going to do is just switch between the two tabs. So there's going to be a lot of tab switching. We've done that in previous streams, but just so you guys know. Strata says Orderable is a plugin Woo add-on for delivery and pickup. Okay, I'll definitely check that out. Now, as you can see with this homepage and the contact, there is this colored background on the right side of the home page, but the colored background is on the left on the contact page, which I think gives this a really unique kind of look. But it presents a little challenge. So first thing is, of course, the menu links, they change. And please begin with WordPress stage, not any design steps. Got it. Thanks. The menu links change their color. So I think I'll probably have to do maybe some sort of condition so that there's actually kind of technically two menus so that you can have a class maybe, or maybe the class is like is home or something like that. Not exactly sure how we're going to do that. And then with the colored background blocks there, I think what we're going to have to do is make the whole header and menu section one div that's just positioned absolute at the top. And then that way we can have some sections on the home page and the contact page that are essentially one big div. Again, not exactly sure how we're going to do that. So this does present an interesting challenge, but it should be kind of interesting. Even though it's simple on the surface, once you really dig in, it's not always that simple. So I already have a WordPress install set up here with a lot of our images that we're going to be using. And so what we're going to do with this is, of course, we're just going to start off with our Oxygen template. And my default Oxygen install is basically just cloned in Cloudways. It has a basic template set up, a few pages, a contact form, just simple stuff like that. So let me just verify real quick that this is set to singular post type of pages, and it sure is. So that's really all we need to do. So we can go ahead and just jump right into Oxygen. I hope everybody watching is doing well. Glad to see we got some people in chat and watching the stream. So thank you guys for joining as always. We'll go ahead and swap this over to our home page, and I'm going to open the structure panel so you guys can see it. I do have Oxygen 3.8, I believe, on this site, or is it 3.8.1? I'll just double check real quick. Of course, it's not going to be super quick. So Oxygen 3.8.1, yeah. So that's what we're using here on this particular setup. So we are going to start off with a div, and I'm going to immediately change this div's tag to header, because this is, of course, going to be the header of the website. And then I think what I'll do is add an image. I'm going to be a little bit rusty. I haven't built anything with Oxygen in quite a while. I have a developer on my team now, and she's just absolutely amazing. And she does a lot of the site builds lately for client work. So I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Oxygen except just basic tutorials and stuff. So we're going to just pick out our logo here. So I should have one that is the correct size. There it is. So 200 by 175. Good morning, Taylor. Good afternoon in your part of the world. Happy to have you here. Good to see you, buddy. And actually, I forgot to check and see how wide this design is. So, it is, oh, it's 1440 again. So we need to basically do what I've done many a time before, which is add in a second div here. This div we're going to set to a width of 100%, and then we're going to set this div to a maximum width of 1440. And then on our parent container, we can just set it to center. And then, of course, we need to take this image and get it inside of the second div, which actually is much easier now in Oxygen 3.8. Stratos asks, is that Happy Files? Yes, this right here is Happy Files. It's really nice. I started using it on all client sites just because it's really great to keep things organized. And for a few sites where clients get in, having the photos organized in these folders is really handy. So I really like it a lot. Taylor says, are you using Core? Negative, I'm not using Core. Again, just in tutorials, I prefer not to do that. Okay, so now we have our image. I think the only other thing here is our text links and some social icons. So let's see, what is our font? Oh gosh, missing fonts. Hopefully, I didn't even think about that. I didn't install these font files. I don't think I actually have them, which is a huge bummer. Maybe I can message my designer and see if she can get that to me. I'm going to do that real quick. Fabio says hi from Italy. Hello, Fabio. Glad to have you. Please share the font files for the website. Thank you. All right. Good to go. So we're going to do the best we can without the font files. I didn't even think about that. Like I said, I am a tad rusty on this stuff, but we'll do our very best here. So just our font up here is what? It's Sign? Interesting. I guess we'll just use like Oswald or something for now, and hopefully she can get those files to me. And then we can actually use Matthias Altman's script that I've made a video on before. So we're just going to go with another div here. I think there's a tag for menu, isn't there? Nav, there it is, yeah. So we will create a text link, and let's do some classes here. So we'll go with FC for Fernweh Coffee, and then we will go with main menu, and let's call this one probably dark, because this is going to be the dark version of, actually we're going to do FC main menu, and then we'll do another one, which is FC main menu dark. So we'll set this text color to, I think it's basically just black. Well, nope, it's white. Shows how much I know. And we're gonna have that green on the background there. How are we gonna do this exactly? I don't exactly know, but what we are gonna do is set our spacing on the right side of that text link to whatever this is, which is 48. And we're just gonna duplicate this a couple of times. I want our nav container here to be horizontal, and then we just need to name our links here. So home. I think the second one is actually going to be menu. I think right now it's order, and then about us, and then we're going to have a contact page. And then this text link we are going to just set to a margin of 0. Well, actually, no. We're going to undo that because we're going to have our social icons over there. Are you using SVGs for the graphics? No, but I could just pretty easily export these as SVGs instead of PNG. That's actually a good idea. I should probably re-export these because they all are PNGs at the moment. But I don't think this site is going to be very big in terms of page size, so it should be okay. So horizontal, middle, and let's go space between like that. I do want to go ahead and let's see here. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and set the correct links. We don't have a menu page, so I need to go make that. You can see there's a couple of pages, like I mentioned, that are already created. Will it be a transparent header? Stratos says. I don't think so. Header will be an overlay and 2 divs with BG colors. That's actually a way better idea. For the 2 divs with the background colors? I just got my font files, so we can get those installed here in just a little bit. So now I'm rethinking exactly how we would do this. Because if there is 2 divs in our main template, that's going to make it a heck of a lot easier to make adjustments later on. I'm kind of thinking that's the way to do this. Let's just go ahead and try it. So if I have, and well, maybe we need the div to be outside of our main header container, and then we would want the background color to be this green. Oh, it's a linear gradient. Interesting. Okay. All right, so let's just go ahead and make this div have that gradient background. So we're going to add 2 colors. First one is that, and then the second one is this lighter color. And then what is the direction? It's like, I don't even know. Not 90, 120? No? It's not tall enough yet. Let me go with min height. We'll go with 100 VH. And then I think the colors are actually reversed. I think the lighter one is down in the lower left, but we can probably just change that with our angle. 75. Why is this so confusing? There we go. That's about it. So 240 puts the lower green down there and then up there. Okay. So then this div doesn't actually need to be this full width. We need it to be up there behind this. So then probably need to add one more div inside to wrap that. And then one's going to be half and one's going to be half. And then I don't actually know, because we don't have any of the other page designs finalized yet, whether they're going to have this same colored section. So we might set it up to be relatively simple right now, but I was thinking maybe down the line, if we have some sort of dynamic color option, that would be pretty cool. I actually saw a thread in the Facebook group a day or two ago where Taylor was talking about having an ACF color picker that you can use to kind of dynamically pick colors via an attribute, which would be pretty sweet. So we could definitely play with that. So actually, I want to take this div. I am going to wrap it. We're going to set its width to 100%. Then this div, it's going to be 50%. I'm going to duplicate this one. We want this to be a horizontal alignment. So now we have our two colored divs. And again, I'm not 100% sure that this is going to work, but we will play with this. This is exactly how I would do it in a real life scenario. And then what do we have here? So this one is, again, a linear gradient, but the colors aren't that much different. So on this left one, going to go to that. And then this guy, are they the exact same? Oh yeah, they are. So it doesn't even need to be a gradient, actually. We could just take this. We could delete our gradient and then just go with background color. And let's call this something. What does Hoverify call this color? Oh, I thought it gave it a name. Maybe that's that old color picker tool that I used to use. It would like kind of give you a name. We'll just call this like sand or something like that. Okay, so now we have the two colors. And then what if we go with a layout with an absolute of 0 top and a Z index? Can you do negative? Yeah, all right. And then this left div, we'll call this, we're going to actually rename them to make this pretty clear. So sand color, and then we'll just call this one green color. And then we can set these to be conditional, which will be kind of cool. Maybe I have to duplicate it again if I'm going to use conditions, because we don't need this sand color one on the left for the home page. We just need it to be white. And then on every other page that's not the home page, we'll probably use this tan color. Sand is what I called it. That would actually be kind of interesting. So if I duplicate this, ice cream, yeah, I like that. Ice cream is better. So I'm going to duplicate this div. I'm going to set this one to white. Then we're going to take the sand color one, and we're going to set this to a condition of post title does not equal home, or perhaps it should be post title is equal to contact, because I don't know exactly what the other designs are going to be. And then I could set this to show and hide based on condition. So now our white div here, oops, white color is the one on the left side. And then the right side is going to be the green, which is the correct one. And now over here we have the white for our text and our social. So let's go ahead and do that. So our FC main menu class, we're going to set this text color to white. And then we're going to make some social links. I think what I'll do is probably just build those manually with a link wrapper, possibly. Let me toss in the social icons real quick and just see. We'll see if that's the route we want to go. Strato says, why aren't you using the header builder element? I really don't like the header builder. It just feels so restrictive. You have those 3 predefined blocks. And so I pretty much never use that or the pro menu. I pretty much almost always build the menus manually. And then those icons are not circles. They're just the plain icons, kind of like this. So we're going to just shrink these way down to like 20 pixels. And then they definitely don't have Twitter. They're going to just have Facebook and Instagram. And then the space between the icon, will bump that up to probably 20 as well. Maybe even a tad less. It's really frustrating though, the way that the social icons have like this extra padding on the bottom, and it sort of overruns the whole block, the whole div there, but whatever. We'll deal with that at some point. Now there is some spacing here. How far off, if I get out of this, how far off that? So 50 left and right probably, if I had to guess. Yeah. So we're going to take our div that wraps our logo and our text here. And we're going to go with 50, I guess we'll do margin, 50 pixels of padding on the left and right side to get our logo and our menu off of the edges of the container. And then what do we have for spacing on the top? I bet it's 31. Okay. So we'll just do a nice round 30 on the top to push that down. So cool. Making some progress. Alrighty. And then I do want to go ahead and get the fonts installed. So I believe this is, let's actually go back to our admin panel real quick. I need to get code snippets, which for some reason I don't already have installed. So we're going to toss in code snippets. And then I need to go pull up the link for that font script. So altman.de. So this is the font script we're going to use. I've made a video on this, so if you haven't seen this, definitely go check it out. And really all you need is code snippets, and then we are basically just going to take his script, which you can download. I forget where it is. It's somewhere in here. Code snippet. Download. Download. And then what we can do is come back over here to code snippets. We'll go to import. We are going to upload this font snippet. And then I think it turns itself on. Oh, no, it doesn't. You got to come switch it on. And then what's going to happen is there's a folder that you upload your fonts to, which I won't be able to show you because it'll be on a different screen and FTP and stuff. Well, actually, we could just do it with one of the file manager plugins so you can see it. Let's go with WP File Manager. I don't know which one is better. I'm just going to pick this one. So I would typically do this with FTP. I just prefer that way for security's sake. I know some of these file manager plugins have had compromises in the past, which is not particularly thrilling. And then I forget where the actual directory is. Let me go check. It is WP content /uploads /fonts. So WP content, uploads, and fonts already exists. So now we just need to basically drag our fonts into that file. So I'll just drop those two in there. So there is the two fonts that we're going to use. So there's Sign, which is the menu font, and then I think the Shriek Hand is the big font here. I don't know where it went. Yes, there it is right there. Perfect. VJ asks, what tool to build the mockup is Figma. Yep, Figma is fantastic. So now if we go back into Oxygen, go back to our templates, and I'm going to edit that main template that we were just looking at, and we should be able to get in the actual fonts from our mockup now. So they should be correct. So that is the contact page. I actually want the home page, so our preview is correct. And then our text links here, we can change our font family to the sign text, which is perfect. So then those are uppercase. We need to bold these, I believe. 700, and then it says font size of 16, but it seems a tad small to me. So what about if we went like 18? That looks reasonable. I'm fine with that. See, again, this is why I mentioned earlier building the social icons manually, because those just look really bad. So I'm going to delete those, and we're going to go with, would it just be an icon? I guess we'd have to do a link wrapper, because if you use an icon, it's going to end up just converting it to a link wrapper anyway. So FC, let's just go with social icon will be our class name. I'm going to do like 5 pixels of padding. Then inside of this, we're going to add in an icon. We're going to make this icon size 25, and I probably should have made that a class, but we're going to change this typography to white, so it changes our icon itself. And then this icon we will change to Facebook. And then I believe it's just the F itself, not the square. Yeah, perfect. And then we'll duplicate this link wrapper. And this one will be Instagram. Instagram. Perfect. So I don't actually have links for those right now, but I'm gonna just go ahead and leave that. And let's set this to middle align, and perfect. Okay. That looks solid. So with this being so shrunk, let's go take a look on the home page. It's much further away from the left and right edge. So I guess what I need to do, that particular div is all the way over to the right. So it's kind of centered in this, well, actually not quite centered, but this text is centered. I think that's what you're talking about, Stratos, is another div to wrap the two icons. You said for the mobile, but I think I'm going to need that anyway because it doesn't line up properly. And it's partly to do with my page container, I believe. But I don't like how you can see it's way off the edge. It definitely is to do with the page container. It's funny how these challenges present themselves as you're kind of going through things. You don't even notice off the bat, and then it presents itself. I'm trying to think about how we would do this. I guess maybe this div would be, can I do a left margin? No. Why is it off the edge right there? Oh, I guess it's because of the margin of the container. Maybe if I use padding, it's going to push it the wrong way, I believe. Is it? So that's closer. That is definitely closer. And then it doesn't account for the fact that some screens are going to be wider because, of course, in the design, it kind of cuts off. But that is definitely better. There is no section here. I mean, I guess I could remove the full width, but that's not going to look good. Well, I guess you're right. I guess that would actually make sense because this, everything else, that image, and that text there are 1440. So if I remove that max width and then I went 50-50, remove the margin. VJ says, I like these live streams. I thought I'm the only one suffering such things while designing. See, that's, yeah, totally. I completely agree with you. That's exactly why I really enjoy these. And I think people do too, because you see that everybody struggles with this stuff. Okay, so Stratos was right. I just basically needed to remove the max width on that particular section, and it pushes it out to basically the exact left and right edges, which is what we wanted. One small thing is making the logo image link back to the home page. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And so there we go. So that is the beginning of our header. So we need to do one small tweak, which is going to be essentially duplicating our nav div. And then let's make some tweaks here. So we now have two of them. Let's make this second one. Let's rename these real quick. So we're going to call this one home nav, and this second one is going to be inner nav. Our home nav we're going to leave exactly as is. And then the inner nav, we're going to change the class here because we already created one called menu dark. So we're going to change this text color to, what is it? 5.4. And then let's see. We need to remove the dark class on these because it doesn't need that. Dark class. And then our social links are also that same color over here in this secondary nav. So I'll go back to this. We're going to go with social icon dark. And then we're going to set this to, I believe I did typography color. There we go. And then I'm going to copy this class name. stick it on this particular link wrapper, and there we go. So then, once again, we're going to take advantage of oxygen conditions. So this home nav, we are going to set to condition of post title equals home. And I will set that to show and hide based on condition. And then this inner nav will be very similar, except we're going to do post title does not equal home. And then, once again, we'll do show and hide based on condition so our editor isn't super clunked up. Now, of course, because my structure panel is open, it messes up the alignment, but this is actually how it's supposed to look. So I am satisfied with that. Now, if we go over to, let's just go to /contact. There's nothing on it. But, oh, that's funny. We need to make some adjustments here. So we should actually have our tan color and our white and not the green. So on our green div, we want to set this to condition of post title is equal to home. There we go. And Pavle is pointing that out exactly as we're coming across it. So thank you very much. But there it is. So perfect. That is exactly what we were after. I probably need to add some sort of animation, some sort of underline effect to the hover here. What would I do? I don't exactly know. Maybe some sort of underline. I'm going to leave that for a different time because those are the sorts of things that I get hung up on and it takes a million years for us to do. Now, let's go ahead and create a div. We got two separate things going on here. So I think we're going to have one div that will contain this text and this button along with this image. And then we're going to have a background, maybe on the white div, that will contain this line effect. So in the white div, couldn't we just essentially take this and then it is, which one? That guy here. Is that exactly what we were after? Was it that easy? Wow. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Sweet. Because that white one is not going to pop up on the contact page. So then if we switch to contact, then I actually want this to be show and hide based on condition. The white color, why is it popping up there? Because the white should only be home page. Did I not apply a condition to that one? So this one should be post title is equal to home. And then on the sand one, it is the other effect, which kind of swoops down. Okay, so let's go to our sand div background and then the swoop down. Do I not have that one? It is basically the inverse. So I guess I need to grab this one real quick. Is that this one? Yeah. So export group 4. I'm going to rename this real quick. So this one will be Fernweh swoop line. Okay. And then I'm going to upload this guy. Underline can be achieved with borders, and Taylor is linking an underline animation. Let me take a peek at those. I don't want this to repeat. And then I want it to be top. Would it be 100%? And then it's slightly off here. Oh, but it goes over the whole thing, so I can't actually add it to this one. Stratus says, why don't you build the hero section on the page? You're in the template now. Good point. Good point. It's a very good point. Hey, Kyle. Glad to see you in the stream. I haven't been around for a while. You're totally right. I'm happy to be back, though. BJ says add to background and make Z index. Yeah, this is not going to work there because it goes across the whole thing. And it can't be this div because that one's just essentially a wrapper. So add to background. Interesting. Maybe that one is going to have to go on the page content. But Stratos is right because we are still working on the template. So I was getting a tad carried away here. But the thing is, these kind of do need to be in the template. And he says, and you can add a section with the lines as a background and then add overlay the div. Yeah, you're right. Yep. So then if I go back to the home page, I probably need to get rid of that one. Although it works so beautifully, I might just leave it. I think I will just leave it, to be honest. So we're going to rename this div. Will just be our colors, and then this one is our header. Perfect. Toby says hello. Oh, this is German. The name of the business is, yes, totally. So then we're gonna go with our inner content element. Inner content, we'll do a minimum height of like 80 VH, and we're gonna add in another div down here, which is going to be our footer. And let's take a peek at our footer. So this is another version of the logo that I don't have. So let me export this. Once again, I need to rename it. I wish the Figma stuff was named properly. Fernweh footer logo.png. Okay. Okay, so then what colors are we working with? So this one is interesting. Is it really that? That kind of looks brown to me, but it actually looks blackish. No, that's definitely a brown. That's for sure. Just looking at it though, the hex color kind of seemed black for whatever reason. And then underneath that we have another div which is orange. So I will add in another one. And actually I think I need to remove this background color. We're going to add in a second div. These will be stacked. They're both going to be 100% width. And then I think I have the orange on my clipboard. We're going to save this as a global color. So Fernweh orange. And then this one, I didn't save the color because I'm not that smart. So we're going to do this. I think I might have saved this as a global color already. Did I? I guess not. We'll call this one Fernweh brown. I don't think it's actually brown. It's some sort of color like that. Cool. And then my tag here is footer. So we already got that done. And then this looks like it's restricted to the width of the page. So we might need to add another div so that they're restricted to the page width of 1440. So let's go ahead and do that. One div inside of here. We're going to go with the width of 100% and then set this to max width of 1440. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that and bring it into this div if I can. Of course not. Drag and drop is still broken in my opinion. And we are going to, on these parent containers, set these to center. And now we can start actually building something inside of these. So what do we have here? 4 columns, so we could easily use grid. We could just go grid, column count of 4. Wait. Let's go with, nope, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to rename this. I'm confusing myself with all these divs here. So top row, and then second row. This div, we would basically just want to add in a div, duplicate that 4 times. Perfect. Told you guys I'm rusty. And then once again, we're going to go grid column count of 4. And then div 1, 2, 3. Sweet. We do need to add some padding and stuff, but we'll come back to that in just a second. So inside of this one, we had our new logo, which I didn't upload. The footer version of our logo, which is just kind of a more simplified version. And I do want to go ahead and add some padding. So it's essentially 61 top and bottom. So we'll just call that 60. Keep it nice and round. 60 top and bottom. And of course, they're not actually full width like this, just because of the way the structure panel is open, it's shrinking our page width, but that's fine. And then is this one, that one's certainly not 60, it's 40 top and bottom is what we'll call that. So our second row, we're gonna go padding, 40 top and bottom like so. And our bottom actually may not need to be a column count of 4. I just got carried away doing the same thing a couple of times, but we will adjust that accordingly in a bit. So what do we have next? We have address, phone number, and our social icons. So we'll need to add in a heading that has a class, so we can easily duplicate that for those 3 headings. And then it looks like this is our sign font. Thanks, Stratus, for hanging out. Have a good day. All right. Let's keep going. So this is the Shriek Hand font, size of 25, letter spacing of 2. And that looks about it. So what I'm going to do is add in a heading. I'm going to change this tag to maybe like an H3, which we can always adjust later. We'll call this one FC footer headings will be our class. The font weight was 500. Is that what it was? Yeah, it's just regular. Our font family is the Shriek Hand. I actually don't know what the color is, so I need to take this. It might be the same as our sand color from earlier. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So we already had a global color for that. Again, I already forgot what these are. So it's address, phone, and follow us. Address. And we do need to add some letter spacing. Then we're going to just take these and drag it right in. So phone. And oh, I already duplicated it. Oh well. Follow us. All right, and here's an example of why using a class before you copy them is sweet, because I don't actually know what the spacing is below. It says it's only 2, but that's partly to do with the line height. So the line height, according to this, is 10, but that's not exactly what we're after. So maybe we need to make this line height. Is it 2? Yeah, I guess so, because, well, no, not quite. I'm trying to see how that lines up. So maybe what I'll do is remove the line height and I'll add some margin under this of like 1 rim or something. I think it's going to be a little bit too much spacing, but that's okay. As always, we can adjust this stuff. So what I'm going to do instead of setting a bunch of colors on individual elements here is on this wrapper div, I'm going to set that one to a typography of white. And then that way if a color's not set, it just makes it white, which is sweet. And then in fact, we could even take that a step further by going to typography and setting the font family to the sign font. And then as you can see, it just switched it. So we don't even have to worry about that. It just essentially does it for us. And then that font looks pretty big. What size is it? It says it's 25. So then could you even go 25? Sweet, you can. And we're just going to copy this. It's yelling at me because I don't have the fonts, but I actually do. So how do you, there it is right there. There's a copy function in Figma. So I'm going to set these to left align. All of them. We don't actually have a phone number yet, but that will be coming soon. So we're just going to make one up. This is going to be a text link. And the area code is 850 something. So we'll just make it that. Text color is white, and then our hover color will be the sand. That looks pretty good. It's very, very discreet, but you can totally see that. And of course, with your phone number, you would typically go with a clickable link like that. And then our follow, once again, will just be our social. So let's go with the link wrapper. We made a class earlier that we can essentially just rename, stick in an icon. It's going to be Facebook. And that is way too big, so we're going to set our icon size to like 25. And, oh, we're not in the second row. It's like, where did my stuff go? Duplicate this link wrapper. And in fact, we need to wrap our link wrapper with a div for structure's sake. Come on. Come on. There we go. And then our second one, we are going to change to Instagram. I don't have their social links handy, but we will, as always, worry about that later. Not terribly concerned with that. And then what does our second row footer look like? It's just our menu again, and then a button that says order online. So to make this super easy, I am going to just steal the menu. Oh, actually, we don't need all these divs, and we also need to change our grid count to maybe 2. I'm going to steal the menu out of, which one is it? Our home nav. So I'm going to copy this, bring it all the way down here to our second div. We're going to remove the condition because this one's going to show on every page. And then let's go ahead and stick it inside. Well, actually, that is already a div. So let's just delete this second one. And then we just have a button, right? Yep. So order online. We don't actually have this button created. So this will be good because we can create our classes and stuff. Why is it not zooming in? There we go. Alrighty. So our background here is one of our global colors. I have taken to using link wrappers lately for buttons instead of the actual button element. So that way, if you want to add in an icon or you want to, a little bit more flexibility, I like to go that route. So I've been using link wrappers for buttons instead. So we'll call this one FC button main or something like that. Background color will be this one, our Fernweh brown. We have some rounded edges. I'm assuming the border radius is going to be something like 25. And then what's our padding look like? It doesn't tell me, of course. There we go. So it's 14 top and bottom, 22 left and right. 14, 14, 22, 22. Our typography is going to be white. And then now we can add in the text. So this one should just say, I think we're going to change it to view menu for now because like I said earlier, we don't have the online ordering function completely ready to go yet, and they are not prepared to do that just yet, so that's okay. So our font weight is 700, and then is it letter spacing 2 again? It's not. But the font size is 18, so we'll bump that up. And in fact, I didn't use a class on this, so let me go with FC button main text. I'm going to copy the styles from the ID to the class, and then I'm going to delete the styles from the ID, just so we can easily recreate this later on. We got 28 people here in the stream watching. If you haven't already, please drop a like on the stream. It does help me tremendously. I really appreciate that. And we are quickly approaching 5,000 subscribers on the channel, which was my goal for the year. So if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Kunal says, hello, I have a question. If we use too much sections in the page, it will definitively slow down the page speed. So how can we lazy load the section? I don't know. Using divs and sections is not going to slow down your page significantly. It's more about the content on it. So like you can see I'm layering divs inside of each other. That's not a huge deal. It's, it's more about the content on the page itself. So this one, we are going to right align, and this div we are going to set to, where is middle? There it is. And for some reason, this button seems a heck of a lot more narrow, more scrunched than it does in, oh, it's because it says order online versus view menu. That's why. So we're getting there. Let's go ahead and save this and take a look at what our footer looks like on the actual site itself. So oh, stream froze for a second on my screen. Everything's still good? Can you guys still hear? Still see? Hopefully so. All right. Back to it. It looks like we're good. I got a little like drop frame notification, so hopefully all is well. The view menu is a lot further off to the right than the follow us. So how is that aligned in the mockup? It is on the right edge of that particular container. So did I set a max width on this top row but not the second row? I thought I did both of them. I guess not. I guess I did neither of them. So max width of 1440. And then I guess it's just something to do with the alignment. So maybe I actually do need this second div to be a column count of 4. And then do I just add some empty divs? I think it's going to make our menu shrink, which we don't. Whoops. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. We got oxygen doing its thing here. So then I want this one to be down at the bottom. Of course it goes out, which is not at all what I wanted it to do. I'm really showcasing oxygen's beautiful side here. So then I always found it's easier to drag up for some reason. There we go. All right, and then that div, let's take off the right align. I think this might still look a bit scrunched on the front end. Yeah, cool, it looks completely broken. That's great. That's exactly what I wanted. Why? So dumb. Mikhail says, I haven't used WP in a while, so I'm glad I caught the live. Sweet. Glad to have you here. Maybe I'm just not going to use grid. I'm just going to take this off. We're going to go with horizontal, space between, and then oh my gosh, what did I do here? Oh, so it wasn't actually that grid stuff that was breaking the page. That was my fault. Did I set the wrong section to 1440? I did. That's not what I meant to do. I already did it. I already set it to 1440. I'm just being a dummy. So now we should be good to go. I was setting the backgrounds to 1440, which is not what I wanted. And for some reason, it still didn't fix over here. What did I do? Second row. There we go. And that menu just needs to be aligned with the right edge of that container. So it's got to be, this div is 1440. If I remove my structure panel, we can see it a bit better. Yeah. I guess if we went a grid count of what would be 1, 2, 3. If we went grid count of 3, then this first one would be a column span of 2. And then well, no, it's got to be 4. And then this one, one more div, I believe. And then this div needs to come up 1. I'm just going to leave it like that. I know it's not exactly like the mock-up, but that's close enough because that's roughly in line, and I'm good with that. I don't want to keep fiddling with it. Mikhail says, what is the footer bold font? This one is called Shriek Hand is the font name, if that's what you're talking about. So there we go. Sweet. So now we have our footer situated. We also have our header situated on each of the pages. If I switch back to the home, I can show you how the colors change. Okay. So now we can actually get into building the home page content. So let's do that. We're going to come over here, and I did already have this color effect on the home page in the template, which I may want to change. I think what I'm going to do is take it out of the template so it doesn't confuse us, because it might be easier to situate it with the content in the actual page content itself. So we're going to leave our template now and go over to our home page. We're going to edit this, and we're going to keep cruising. I hope you all are doing well. Thanks everybody for hanging out in the stream. I know this one was super short notice and very impromptu, but I'm happy to be back. And we're going to be doing some more of these. This actual website that we're watching right now, we're going to have some e-commerce solution later on. Probably going to be WooCommerce. Not 100% sure, but it will definitely have e-commerce capability to buy this actual company's coffee, and it's extremely good. I know I'm not I'm not drinking their stuff right now, but there's a reason why. So anyway, we're going to keep cruising. So let's see, we're going to take one div that will have our header, the button, and then this image. And in that section, we might put the background as that image, although then it's going to show up in the green. So I might have made a mistake by taking that color out. I don't want this little line effect to be in the green, obviously, but if I create a section and stick it in there as the background, it will show up, which is not what we want. So let's go ahead and add a section. Our section width, we're going to change in our global styles here to 1440. So there is our page container adjustment. And then in this, let's add in 2 divs, because it's going to be roughly 50-50-ish, like I said. So inside of this one, it's going to be a heading. I'm just going to use the inspect tool to copy this text right out of it. And then that is which font? Mikhail, or I mean, not Mikhail, Shrikant. And then what's our styling look like on this? So it's 60, no letter spacing, regular font weight. So instead of 700, is it 500? So 60, it's pretty big. And then it's welcome to on one line, and then Fernweh Coffee on the next line. Oh, there we go. The text is right aligned, so we're going to do that. And our line height looks much bigger there, so I guess we'll shrink that down. And then is there a space there? There is, so we need to remove that. And then 1 looks too small, so maybe it's 1.5 line height. Unless I'm reading this wrong, I don't believe Figma gives you a line height like we need for Oxygen. So that's paragraph spacing. That's not what it is. It's basically line height as 65, but isn't that just like 1 point something, 1.2 or something like that? 1.1 maybe? That looks pretty good. All right, and then margin is 22 there, 29 there. This is our sign font. So actually, most of our body text looks like the sign font. So let's go ahead and change that in our global styles. So our headings, well, let's see. Fonts will be Shrikant and sign. So now, when we add in some text, Mikhail says, what does Fernweh mean? It's basically like wanting to go to a place you've never been. It's like a wanderlust sort of like travel thing. So kind of a cool name. It's not my company, of course, but it is like my best friend's company. All right, and then how is this broken up? So freshly roasted coffee. Mary Esther. We're going to set this whole div to right align. And then I think it was 22 pixels of margin on the bottom, which is basically 1.5 rem. Trying to get into the habit of using those sorts of units instead of pixels for like accessibility's sake. And then that looks super tiny. This is a size of 24 and a font weight of 400, which I think is already that, so perfect. That looks good. And then the spacing was a bit bigger here, like 2 rem. And like I mentioned earlier, we're going to create our button using a link wrapper. I'm going to use our class that we already set up and then add a text element. And then our button text is that. And then I know it doesn't say view menu, but we're going to make it say view menu. Oh, this one actually is the green button. So we need to add a separate class for that. That's an easy tweak though. What is this color? Don't think we have this color saved yet. So we're going to add a new class to our link wrapper here. So FC button main green is what we'll call this. Our background color will be that. And we're going to save this as Fernweh green. So perfect. That was a very easy adjustment to make. The button is not that wide though. And that text is much longer here. Order online is obviously much longer than view menu. So maybe I'll leave it be for now and we'll revisit that, but I'm not exactly sure this is the call to action we want. Like I mentioned earlier, there's not going to be the online ordering, just won't be ready yet. All right, and then now what we're going to do is add in an image, which is their coffee bag mockup, this guy right here. And then we need to adjust the sizing, spacing, and that sort of thing. So how big is this image? So it's 690, which I think is the full height here. We do have quite a bit of spacing, so it's 91 pixels in this div. Let's go with 90 pixels of padding on the top. And then with our divs here, we didn't actually set any sort of width. So I'm gonna go with like 45 here. And then this div, we're gonna go with 45. We'll set our section to space between. That doesn't quite work how I wanted it to, because then it pushes it over into the green. But let's refresh on the home page real quick and see how this looks. There's a bit of overlap here. That image is more to the left. So perhaps I need to set it to like 40 on this one. And then we're going to set this one, this div to a 60% or maybe 58. 58. So then it lines up a bit, overlaps with the green as it does in the mockup. And this text is messed up because of the way I did the line break. So actually, I did this the wrong way. I shouldn't be manually adding spaces. I should be taking this text and setting it as a maximum width of 430. So max width of 430. And then it will kind of put the line breaks in there for you, which is pretty sweet. All right. So our menu page doesn't actually exist, so we need to go fix that here in a bit. And then we also need to get the background color over here. It's not going to be in this div. I need to go back to the template and put it in there to get it like situated properly. Not a big deal. Super easy to fix. And then that will fill up the space down here because it looks a little bit dead at the moment. I'm kind of like, what's missing? But it's that background. So I know we got to switch back to our template and back to the home page again, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and do it. Hope everybody is doing well. I see 29 people up here in the stream, so I'm glad to see everybody. Now, if you missed it earlier, we created a couple different color divs here and added some conditions so things show and hide properly. In this white one, we're just going to go back to our little swoopy boy, which was this guy, I believe. Yes, there it is. And then let's actually save this and look on the home page and make sure the alignment isn't wrong. It's a little bit off. Sandro says your Cloudways link is public. Yeah, it is. And this is the same. This site will eventually go live. I said earlier on in the stream, probably later this week, next week, something like that, really, really soon. So we want that image to be positioned more down. And then also, it seems like there's more of it. Oh, well, no. I was going to say it seems like there's more of it visible in the mockup, but that's not really true. So we're going to take this. We're going to go with the top of like 100. Ooh. No. I guess we got to do some negative. Push it down some. And I think this is going to require quite a bit of tweaking on the mobile versions. So it might be worth it to go ahead and check that, but let's see. And that doesn't work because it gets cut off. So negative 30 is too much. So maybe negative 20. I just want it to not overlap with the menu and stuff. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look that bad, even though it's not correct technically. It needs to be more contained though. Maybe I can change the background to no repeat. Would it be cover? So top 0, it's not left. Tira says, I'm a web designer and learning WordPress so that I can make a full cycle of the site with Oxygen. Awesome. Really glad to hear that. If you guys didn't know, I also have a WordPress, or excuse me, an Oxygen course, and you can totally take advantage of that. It'll teach you Oxygen from the ground up. So definitely have a look at that if you haven't already. VZ Code says try pixels instead of percent. Seems like that's working. If I go back to the cover, 350. Do left, but try with percentage instead of pixels. I want it to be that way. I don't want all of that to be showing, is the thing. I just want that swoopy boy. That image is, what is it? How wide is it? 1769. So if I uncheck cover, and then top, we're getting there. This always takes me a bit of playing, just trying to figure out the exact background positioning. And again, this is going to take a lot of tweaking on the mobile variants. I guess it's because these divs get wider, so more of it shows. Maybe I need to restrict this div's width because it's taking up like half of the page, which I think is part of the problem. Because right here, it doesn't look that bad. And I did set it to 50%. Maybe... Huh. I want to look at this. I mean, it looks cool as it is. It just goes over that text, which is not what I want. I wonder if, because this white one is set to 50%, if I then add another div inside of it, whose width is 50%, and then the height, can I set it to auto? 100%. What if I do min height 100%? I don't know if that works actually. We're going to take this white color, take that background off. We're going to set this div's background to our swoopy boy. No, so that minimum height doesn't work. Is it even there? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so it is there, but I want it to take up all the available space. Can it not stretch? What if I set this white? There we go. Okay, so then the white one we're going to set to right align. Then the background of this guy will be cover. Ah, but that's not going to work because it's going to look like it's coming out of nowhere. That's a bummer. Oh, man. I guess I'm just going to have to go back the other way and deal with the alignment not quite working how we want it to. And actually, just to verify, am I using the right one? Yeah, I think so. That, I mean, like I said before, that looks pretty good, but I just don't want it to cover up the text, which maybe is just going to take adjustment at every single device width. I mean, over the menu button, it doesn't look that bad. Let's take a look at how it behaves. I think our menu is going to be super jacked up, but this is all right. Yeah, probably. Definitely difficult, but it'll be worth it. I guess I need to shrink these images. That's actually in the page itself and not the template, so I can't do that at the moment. Let me look at this in Chrome Inspect and see how it behaves as the window shrinks. All I'm concerned about right now is the background, not anything else on the page, because of course we've adjusted none of that. I mean, realistically, it's fine. More of it shows, although I do want it to be no repeat. That's a 2600 pixel wide monitor though. Most people are not going to be looking at it on that. But I am anyway, just for the sake of clarity, going to set this, go back to full device on our white div, set the background to no repeat. So that's pretty much good. I mean, it's not quite the same as the mockup, but then again, it almost never is exactly the same. There's just things that deviate between the designs and the actual mockup. Or, you know, the real oxygen site and the mockup typically deviate somewhat. But I am really happy with that. So we got this situated. So now we're going to move into this section here, which is going to be very easy. I say that. Hopefully it is. But we need to switch back to our home page. I don't know about you guys, but I find myself switching back and forth between all this kind of stuff in Oxygen so regularly, like template, home, about, contact. Blah, blah, blah. So we're going to create a new section. And then this one has, actually, maybe I'll use a div and then a section. I said it's easy. I totally jinxed myself. This is not going to be super hard, but it's just so funny. I say it's going to be easy, and then it's just like, hey, look at me. I'm going to export this arrow, and I'll do it as an SVG. So let's first of all copy this text because we're going to need that pretty much right away. So this is sign 25 semi-bold, nearly a 2 pixel letter spacing. So let's go ahead and do that. So this text, I'm going to paste that right in there. We already are inheriting our correct thing. So letter spacing, I'm just going to go with 2. Font size was 25. Color was our sand. Yep, sand color. Pavle says section with 2 times divs, columns. Yeah, I mean, I could make the section full width and then have 2 divs stacked. So the full width would be that, and then we would have div number 1 and div number 2. And then the first one is going to be the brown, and then that one's going to be the sand. So let's just try this real quick. I'm going to have to remove the spacing on the section. So let's go with 0 padding. There's a million ways to do this. So if you're screaming at your monitor right now, like, no, don't do this, don't worry about it. It's fine. So this div would be 100%. And then in fact, we'd probably want to even add another one, which is 100%, but restricted to 1440, which I find myself doing quite frequently, actually. It's just a nice little hack. Whoops, I deleted the wrong text. Thank goodness for undo. Makes it nice and easy. So we'll center that. And then what kind of spacing do we have? So it's like 60, we'll go with 60 all the way around on both of these divs, which might take some extra tweaking in a little bit. And then this one, we're gonna go with 100%. Another div that once again will be 100%, except this is the one that will be 1440. Set this one to center. Did I already do that one here? That's what I meant to do, was center that guy. Perfect. And then below this text, we have 2 images slightly offset from one another, which is kind of cool. Those images are of course just stock, but we're gonna get some real photos very soon. So we have the little arrow icon and then the images. So let's toss that image in. Because I have happy files, I should be able to upload this SVG with no problems. There we go. Perfect. And the spacing is not correct here. So what is that? It's a 22 gap and then 22. I'm gonna go 22 again. Alex, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I already said this. Hope everyone is having a great day. And if you're watching, please consider dropping a like on the stream. It really helps YouTube pick it up and recommend it to other people. And there's been a few streams that have done extremely well as a result of that. So thank you. Alex says, hey, Jonathan, glad you're back. Missed your videos. Thanks so much. I'm glad to be back. Took a trip, got some stuff going on with my house and client work and all that kind of stuff, but it is very good to be back indeed. All right, so I'm gonna use grid on this one. We're gonna go with the grid count of 2. We're gonna just add in an image, duplicate that. The first image is this stock photo of a shop. And then the second one is a photo of this coffee roaster. And they actually are the same size, but it looks like we can just add some margin up above, roughly like 80 pixels of margin to the top of this. And then we need to create a negative effect for this second row with the sand color. So I think what we're gonna do is on this div, we're gonna remove the 60 pixels of padding that we put on the bottom. Then we're gonna take this div and we're just gonna use negative margin to like negative 250 might be too much. And then what's our height of this guy? 375. So 375 pixels. We're gonna set this div here to have a higher Z index. So I'll just go like 5. So there we go. Fadley says, hi all, just follow this live stream a couple minutes ago. Welcome in, super glad to have you. We've made a lot of progress today. And of course, as soon as this video is done, there will be a replay that goes live. Tobias says, add a box shadow to this. Box shadow to what? All right, saving. I want to take a quick peek on the front end. We have an alignment issue right there. I'm not sure why. Not sure why that spacing is there. Oh, it's because these divs are set to 100 VH. So I guess I just need to change them to be something else. Anyway, this looks good. Our sand color is overlapping properly, but we do need to change the spacing between these 2 images because they're much, much closer together. So it's only 25 pixels. And here they're 25 pixels. I wonder if we need to just set this div to be a max width of, what would it be, like 542. So 1084 maybe. And then there we go. So it looks like we have a bunch of extra spacing in our sand question. Sand question. Wow, I was reading chat too. 90 pixels down there. Where is this coming from? So that's 370. There's a measurement tool in Inspect, isn't there? In Hoverify? No? Maybe not. I guess not. I think what I need to do is just make this section a little bit shorter because it doesn't look quite right to my eye. I think like 300. But then again, that sand color section looks to be exactly 391 and 374. They're very close in terms of height. So maybe I need to set this section to the same height. Let's go 390. And then would it be this one is 375? No, definitely not. It's just something about the heights don't always translate. And oh, well, actually, maybe this needs to be negative a bit more to make them feel more equal. That looks roughly good. All right. That looks good to me. Let's keep going. What's under this? So this is a pretty simple section, coffee bean background, what we offer. So we're going to go with a whole new section here. This section's background is going to be some coffee beans in a roaster. So that is perfect. Let's go with a grid. This one is going to be probably a column count of, let's go with 3. We're going to add in a div, duplicate that. We need to take this section and make its width 100%. And then we're going to set this child span to a column count of 2. We're going to leave this left div empty, add in a heading, and I believe it said what we offer. Our spacing was roughly like 24 pixels or something like that. So we'll go with 2 rem. Omerta says, hey, Jonathan, glad to see you again. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everybody hopping in and welcoming me back. I'm glad to be back. So that one's a 52 shriek hand, and it's our sand color. So let's go back to text. 52. Typography, letter spacing, I think is 2. And then our font weight was 500. It's a tad hard to read. There must be an overlay on this. There is. So this is kind of a gray overlay, which we'll do right on top of this section. So image, overlay, color. And then we need to bring this down. I don't exactly know what it is because it just says mask in Figma. Is it this? It's not that much different. So yeah, I'm fine with it. I can always have my designer review this and she can tweak it. And then we have this text right here, copy. So what do we got? 24 pixels, white, and that's about it. So we'll go with 24 white. And then also I wanted to change this tag off of H1 to H2. And then we're going to go with 2 rem spacing beneath this once again. And we're going to add a link wrapper for our button. This one is orange, in fact. So we're going to go add our other classes. So FC button main. And then we're going to add in our text. On this one, we're going to go with our button main text class. And then on the actual link wrapper itself, I'm going to go add in another class. So button main, what is this one? Orange? Yeah. Orange. Background color is orange. And there we go. We're going to go with view menu once again. And that text is pretty difficult to read. So I think I might make this mask a darker color and perhaps make it even a tad darker. Still a tad hard to read, but it's okay. It's not too bad. Let's look at this on the front page. So there we go. And then I would like to add a hover effect to all of these buttons. So let's go ahead and do that based on our main class. So we're going to go to Effect, Transition will be 0.2. Oh, it's set to multiply. Ah, I'll have to check that out. So the background mask multiply. Interesting. So then do you have to go to Effect and then not transition? Whoops. Background blend mode is multiply. Does that have any impact on the image overlay color though? I don't feel like that changes anything. No, it doesn't change anything unless there's a different effect that I have to add there. Bradbury says, hello, late to the party on this one, eating food. Welcome to the party. Glad to have you. I'm happy with this as it is. I'm just going to leave it as is, and we're going to keep rolling. What is underneath this? So this is the About Us section, and then got a little bit more here on the homepage. So we're just chugging right along. This is great. Let's go ahead and pop in another section. We're going to add in our background, which has this tall, kind of peaky looking line, like that. And then we have an image on the left, so we'll just go ahead and grab that, which is this espresso machine. I'm looking forward to a real photo of their actual espresso machine because it's like this sweet orange color, kind of like here in these lines, which is going to be, it's just going to look so good. And then copy this guy. So we have About Us. We'll just stick in a div here and we'll set it to horizontal. A heading, we'll go with H2. Will be About Us. I'm assuming it's roughly the same font size and the same letter spacing as before, which I should have been using a class for, but oh well. Size 40 pixels, actually, instead of 52. Ren, what up, yo? Stoked to see you. All right, so this div, how wide is this guy? So this text is basically 500. So we're going to set this div to a max width of 500. I might change this in just a minute. The spacing is 15. So we're just going to do one rim, which is technically 16 pixels, but it's close enough. And then I already copied that text. Hopefully it's still on my clipboard. There it is. And there's the LSEPs from Figma, which sometimes pop up. Freshest, that's a typo. I'll fix that. And what do we got? So that's black, 400, size of 24. I think it's already 400. Yep. And it's already black, I believe. Yep. Don't even need to bother with that. And we are going to push this over. So let me see. We need to push the background over actually. So on our section background, let's see, negative actually, negative 500, no repeat. Maybe we'll do pixels. I mean percentage instead of pixels. 100. And we want this to be further over. So actually I'm going to wrap this image with the div. I'm going to set this guy to 40%. I'm going to set this guy to maybe 50%. And then we're going to go space around roughly. Almost. I think our image needs to be a touch smaller. Hmm. Actually, let me look at it on the full screen size. Negative. What about long time? Andre, what's up? Long time no see indeed. Glad to see so many familiar faces and lots of new faces as well. Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out in chat. As always, if you haven't already dropped a like on the stream, please do. Really appreciate that. Elijah, I was gonna watch this stream, but thanks to the pre-roll, I'm switching to Wix. You know, it's funny because I actually got a Wix pre-roll too. Something I was watching earlier, I can't remember what it was, and it was like, "Would you build a multi-million-dollar website on Wix?" I skipped it, obviously. Super funny though. Let's see, what time is it? 12:13. I think I have a call at 1. Yep. Let me just make sure that the call is actually still on. Sometimes people like to cancel last minute. Let's double check and see real quick. Yeah, no, nothing else. Okay, cool. Elijah, glad to have you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope you got something sweet cooking up for Oxygen 3.9, like the View rewrite. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about that. It's a total joke. All right. So because of the screen size variance here, I'm not sure if... Can I go even further? If I go further, it cuts off the image, I believe. Yeah, it does. So what if I do repeat? No, that doesn't work. I'm going to make this image smaller, because I think it's like 500. What if I go like 400? Maybe this section needs to be taller, actually. That one's 747 pixels tall. Surely this section is already taller than that. 800, yeah. I knew I was going to spark something in chat, which is exactly why I said it. Oh, it's going great. I got a view for Tommy's book for the library. Oh man, yes. I'm gonna make so many people happy. I'm gonna screenshot that and put it in my Facebook group. Everyone's gonna love it. Maybe I need to change the background to a manual. Does it cut off like that? Not in the mock-up, it goes all the way down. So the section perhaps needs to be taller with this manual thing. So let's go with a minimum height of like 900. Ooh boy, ooh boy, ooh. We're making progress. This is what we're after, except there needs to be some extra spacing up there. So then our background, our height, do we push it down? Ooh, no. Oh, here we go. I was in the wrong field. That's why. So 100 is too much. 50 is just about perfect. And then the image, maybe we need, oh no! My browser width is, I think it's 2560 in this particular layout. So I wonder if we go to inspect and change it to 1920, what happens? It's still kind of cut off on the left side, but other than that, it's looking kind of okay. The image here is more to the right of the little swoopy bit though, so we need to adjust that, which would be pretty easy because we can just basically take this and center align. Why is it cut off on the left-hand side though? I only pushed it to 100% left. Maybe the, what if I turn off no repeat? Why is it cut off on the left? I don't understand because the image is wider than that. It's set to manual. Oh, yeah. Well, the background actually doesn't change anything as compared to the section width. Like page width or full width doesn't matter when the background is on there because it's going to stretch outside of the bounds of the section container. So something I just was thinking about. I'm trying to think. What can I do? What do you do when I come for? So I don't want any repeat. What did I just... Oh, it was this manual. So just for the sake of curiosity, I want to refresh this and look. All right, so it's something to do with the manual. So then the left, maybe 75. Top is going to be 0. And then... No, not section padding. Top, let's go 25. How high is it off of that? It's pretty far off. Did I set a section container height here? Minimum height is 900. What if we go 1200? Oh, it also adjusts the background. Well, minimum height of 900 does work. So then, what if I add... I'm really just mashing buttons now to see if I can make what I want happen. I kind of need it to like be sort of like scrunched, the image to be more like contained. So the left 70. Do we need to go negative 70 this way? So percentage doesn't actually make any difference. So what if we go negative 250? And then the top is going to be like 125. But it doesn't stretch. Oh! Why is this so difficult? Yeah, dude. Bradbury says mashing buttons is 100% how I do my work. There's a lot of that. That's what's so great about this. Object fit cover. What about manual and a width of 100%? Is it because that image is not big enough? Rin is saying, do you want me to edit the graphic? You totally can if that's going to be easier. I think it probably would be easier if you can do something quickly. Or, you know, if it's not a difficult fix. So the image is 1873 by 830, which is really interesting because it should be well within the bounds of our container here, which is only 1440. Oh. Oh, that's closer. That's almost it. Yeah, and then we just need some extra spacing down there, which we can do with another section, because when we add in another section, that's it. Sweet, Andre, thank you. Yeah, I was too busy mashing stuff to figure out what I actually needed. So then this div, I want some more spacing up on the top there because I think that's more in line. Well, no, that's pretty much it. We just need to get that image adjusted. I did change the image size. So what if I just take off this width now? That covers up more of it than I think is originally intended in the mockup, but it might be a right alignment thing. I wonder if this needs to be a bit smaller because this size is 545, which is exactly the image size. So of course it doesn't make any change, but when it was like 400, it looked pretty good. I will consult with you, Ren, later on to see if we need to make any adjustments to this. I want to keep moving here just to make sure that we're not wasting time. So, looking pretty good. And now we're going to jump down here to this particular heading. So it's the shriek. That's what I keep saying. Yeah, shriek hand, 60. And, oops, text. Where's your Fernweh? So heading, we're going to go margin left and right auto. And it is 60. I'm assuming it is the font weight of 500 and letter spacing of 2 again. No letter spacing. So let me drop that back off. Then we have this icon, which I had the other color. Let me change the name of this. So arrow dark. So we're going to add in an image, which is an SVG. And we have the lighter color one in there, but we're going to do arrow dark this time. I'm just going to set this whole section to center, and if we need to adjust that, we totally can. And then we have 28 pixels underneath that, so nearly 2 rem. So I'm going to go like 1.8 rem, 1.8 rem. Perfect. Then we have a div whose background color is our green. It looks like it's about 100% of the container width. Yes, looks like it's stretching to the bounds. And copy text in there. Our text is white. And what does our styling look like? So it's 625 pixels, letter of 1.8. So typography, letter spacing 1.8. What was it, 24? I already forgot. And then what's our padding look like here? So it's 22 top and bottom, and then 90 left and right. So on our div, 22 top and bottom, and then 90 left and right. Andre says, did you ever use Icon Moon for your custom icons, Jonathan? Started using it and will never go back. Great feature. I actually haven't looked into that. I'll totally check that out though. Seems pretty sweet. So I'm going to center that text. And then was it broken up? Maybe this box. Oh, the box is actually only 1100 pixels wide. So let's go max width of 1100. And there we go. And then it breaks it up like it's kind of supposed to be. Cool. All right. And then next up is this map. So the map, I think I will just put on the home page for now because we're going to have one on the contact too, I believe. Where'd the contact page go? There it is. Yeah. So I'm just going to stick this on the home page, and then we can do kind of like a sweet negative margin thing to make it all kind of line up. So what we'll do is change this section to full width. We'll knock out the left and right container padding. I'm going to add in another div that's 100% width, not 1000% width, 100. Inside of this, we're going to add in a map, Google map. There we go. Invalid Q parameter. That's handy. And just to make this easy, I'm going to copy the address out of here so I don't have to type it. And width 100%. It's yelling at me about the API key, but I thought that wasn't a thing anymore. That's weird. I thought it just like started working again and you didn't even need an API key. I thought Google like went back on what they said. Am I using 381? Yeah. So do I actually need an API key? Apparently so. I wonder if I like format the address a little bit more cleanly. What if I just remove this? No, okay. Elijah says they fixed it, but we had already implemented the new API that requires a key. So actually, okay, all right. And then I'm gonna go get that embed. I'm not dealing with an API key. Page Bacon Road, Suite 1. Mary Esther, share, embed, copy. So then we're not going to use a Google Map. We are going to use a code block. PHP, the width will be 100%. And then we need to change the actual code block's width itself to 100%. And then we need to change the zoom, which I can do with the actual map itself. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. Share, embed, copy. So I got to do this again. I don't know exactly what parameter in there changes the zoom, but it's easy enough to adjust that. All right. So then how exactly does this overlap in the mockup? So the green just ever so slightly. I wonder if it will measure. What is that, like 40 pixels maybe? So we'll take our code block, if I can select that. No. Or maybe just this whole div. We're going to take this whole div and we're going to go -40. And we're going to set this div here to a z index. Let's go like 5. Looks like maybe the overlap isn't quite enough because it goes halfway up that box. So it's going to be maybe more like -80. Nope. 50. Nope. 60. Cool. Perfect. Good enough for me. All right, so saving. And what else do we have in here? That should be the end of the home page. Sweet. We got some spacing right here we got to get rid of, but that is perfect. All righty. So where does that spacing come from? The section itself. So we'll take this out of there. And there's still a tiny little bit more. Why, I wonder? It's not the code block. Where is it? I wonder if it's the map. Yeah, the map height is, oops, what is it? 450, I believe. Where is it? Height is 450. And then what if I change it to 400? Does it make the white go away? Doesn't look like it. What if I go negative margin? Yes. Go away, white. White space. I don't want you. There we go. Much better. Yes. Except I still have an issue with that. Well, nonetheless, we have made a massive amount of progress. So we have our header done. I'm going to do the contact page before we close out. I'm going to try to rush and get that done because I have a phone call I have to take in like 25 minutes, but we should be able to crush this contact page pretty reasonably quickly. We'll see about that. So this should be good. But yeah, the homepage is looking quite nice. Probably some things I need to tweak, like spacing and mobile. I need to adjust like the viewport height thing here, which is why we have a white gap there. And I also probably need to adjust the width of this because that doesn't look quite right. What is that over here? Coffee experience is where it breaks. Oh, I need to set it to like uppercase, restrict the width a bit, yada yada. Nothing crazy. We can fix all that. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the contact page. And this is the kind of thing that I do on a real site is what I'll end up doing, like basically building the site, and then I'll come back like the next day or something with a fresh set of eyes and make all the tweaks. So I try to get the bulk of the main stuff done first and then come back and make the tweaks after the fact. Okay, so where to find us with an address and phone number. Then we have an image with the map. And then we have an hours. So in our section here, let's go with grid. I'm going to add, let's go with like 3 divs. We're going to go with a column count of 3. Then we're going to change this heading to where to find us. And that was the brownish color, I believe. Yep. And then what else? We have 400, and that's about it. So our font weight of 400, we're going to go with that color. We've been doing roughly 2 rem of spacing underneath the headings. That might be a bit too much, but we're going to need 2 different divs. And this one is going to be horizontal with an icon. This icon is orange. It's much smaller and it's a map pin. So we're going to go map. Change this to maybe 1 rim on the right with some text. And then this text is the actual address. It's got this kind of off gray color, 400, and its size of 16. So not a whole lot we need to do there. This text color I don't think we have as a global color. So I got that copied. And we will add this as Fernweh light body or something like that. That'll be our global color name here. All right. Sweet. Rin just messaged me and said that there's a updated version of that image for the background, so we can get that tweaked. We'll set this div to middle align, and then this one will be pretty easy to adjust. We're basically just going to take this and change it to phone, and then there is no phone number right now, but we'll be fixing that soon. And then let's take these 2. We're going to wrap it with a div, stick that one inside of there, if it'll let me. We're going to horizontal, 100%, and then we're going to go with middle, space between, I guess. That'll be fine-ish. What if I don't set alignment, and then I take this guy and I go margin, left, and right auto, kind of push it into the middle. There we go. That works. Okay, and then underneath that, we have a double situation here, 1 image and the Google map again. So let's go 2 rem. We're going to set this div to 100%. We're going to add in an image. Its width is going to be 50%. And it was what photo? I guess I don't have it. So let me download this real quick. Export. I'm going to change these, which is why I don't care that it is a PNG for the moment. So don't cut me on that one. And then in this div, we're going to go with another code block. This code block's width will be 50%. I'm going to take this exact Google Map embed code that I have pulled up from earlier, Its width, let's set to 100% because it's going to be 100% of its container. And we will set to horizontal. Let's see, how tall is this image? I guess we'll just have to play with this for a second. We'll take our little code block situation here. It's probably like 350-ish. Not quite. 325 maybe? Nope, a little bit more, so 330. Close-ish enough-ish for now. Maybe I can make them stretch. Yeah, whatever. I'm happy with that. It does overlap though, so I guess I need to make this... Maybe I need to take this whole div out. Or just get rid of the middle one. Let me think on that, and we're going to add the hours over here in the white section. So the white, actually, the conditions are wrong, so I need to adjust that because it's showing the green one right now. Display block. But I don't want to. I don't want to display block. No. I don't want to. That's okay. Oh, are you talking about the embed code as display block? That could be. That could definitely be. All right. Got one eye on the time over here because I'm coming up on my next situation for the day on the iframe in the code block. I see. I see. Yeah. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is, instead of having this kind of dead div here in the middle, what if I did this and made this column count of 2? I could restrict this one's width to be like a max width of what would it be? Maybe like 320 or something? No. 500. And then this one could be wider. This one I could set to a pixel width of something wider than that. We'll come back to that in a second. So this other one is just hours. I'm going to duplicate this heading to make it nice and easy. So hours. And then I wonder if this is going to be easier for me to just do like a text. Oops, wrong div. Oh, I see what's happening. The grid is not quite correct here. I was like, wait, what is going on? Why did it go all haywire on me? So inside of that, so I can actually drag something in it, go with a heading and a text. I don't need that div. I wish I could just like copy this. I guess you sort of can, but it's Sunday to Saturday, 7 to 3. That's pretty much right. We're just going to go with 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., which I actually don't know for sure is correct, but it probably will be. 24. 24. That design looks way better, though, having all the hours listed out. So maybe I'll do that. And then I really want it to have that correct kind of overlap. So I wonder if I can set this div width to just stretch a bit. And also, how does this look on the real front end? Oh, it looks correct. It's just wrong in the back end. The green is wrong in the back end, but not on the front end. Okay. And that map doesn't stretch to the right height. I guess I need to quit being lazy and type this out because it looks so much better like this. And then we also have to figure out this background image, which I think I have. So maybe I can just use the section background again. Is it this one? No, it's the inverse one, the down one. And then I could set the background to contain. We're going to go with top, is it 100%? And then no repeat. That should be roughly right. This one should be easier. Yeah. Sweet. It's a little bit higher, like it pushes up here closer to our things, but I think that's just partly to do with our browser width. And also that this div here, its height is more like 500. So I wonder if I go with this div and say that it's a height of 500. There we go. That's it. Code block. We need to set our height here to 500. Perfect. It's coming along. Awesome. The hours is obviously too close to the center section there, and it's not quite overlapping yet the way that we want it to. So let's see, we're way over that way. We're like in the middle there. So we're going to go with the center there, but then we're going to take this, pop it all inside a div. Drag and drop is still super annoying. I got it though. And then this one, we're just going to make sure it's a left align. And then what do I want to do for this div? Can you set more than 100? You can. Wow, I've never done that before. Sweet. No, never intentionally done that, I should say. I mean, that's like pretty much it. Andre says you could specify a height of 100% for the iframe so you do not always have to manually match it to the parent. Oh, I didn't think that would work. Sweet. Okay, it does work. I didn't know that. I didn't think it was going to work, but obviously it does. So thanks for that. That's really cool. Well, that's perfect. So I need to spruce up the hours. I think I'll go ahead and type everything out. I'm not going to put the menu button in, or the order online button right now, just because we won't have order online for the moment. But we are going to make some more tweaks to the homepage, background, and a few other things that I might do off stream. I'm not 100% sure yet. But what's coming next is the ability to, order something online, probably packaged products for the moment. So we're going to do like their actual coffee beans that you can buy, and they will be able to ship them, so you can actually buy them for real, which will be pretty sweet. And then eventually we're going to do the real, like order online where you could like order your coffee and food and stuff ahead of time, like, any like big coffee chain. So I'm pretty psyched about that. I appreciate every single one of you watching. Good to see so many familiar faces. Before you leave, please drop a like on the stream, and I always appreciate you. I'll let you know ahead of time. I won't do it on such short notice next time for the continuation of this website. And I will have another stream coming up for a charity that's going to be a charity stream, which would be pretty sweet. So got a couple more streams coming soon. Got some video ideas. Working on another course, so stay tuned for that. And good to see everybody. So as always, thank every single one of you for watching. Again, please drop a like on the stream, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now, everybody.